Hi, I'm Faith.
And I'm Nasa. And this is
Go Ladies, a podcast about navigating life, love,
and so much more
from a 40-plus perspective.
One. Here we go.
Well, all right. Shoo-be-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh, yeah. That's all.
Oh.
That's how you giving us a Luther?
You ready to back you up?
Right.
I don't know all the words.
Wait.
All black people know shoo-be-doo-doo-doo. Well, all right. And it's Bad Boys. You want to lead us? Okay, I'll do another one. Because we listen to this in the car. Okay. Ready?
I'm ready.
Let me find my note. And we both know that our love will grow and for... Y'all supposed to help me.
Oh, my bad. That note really don't sit with me. You have it?
You know I ain't got it ever.
Yeah. You
I got this part though.
and me.
Hey.
You had something.
Yes. Yes.
In the car, we were singing all the 80s love songs.
We were.
And we were having a time.
A time.
Then we spiraled out to other 80s music like Night Shift. Ooh, that's my song.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, y'all took it back.
Yes.
I'm not mad at that.
It was a great time.
It was.
Okay, hey people.
Hi.
This rose is good.
Thank you. So we are officially back. If you followed our stories, we're back from the A. Back here on our own sets.
Yes.
And we have a lovely guest with us today. The wonderful, incomparable Brittany Irby.
Yes.
They might regret this later.
No, never.
We will not.
Full disclosure, obviously she's friend of the pod because she wouldn't be here if she wasn't. Also co-worker, also soror, also all around badass. So she's kind of just greatness. And so we'll get into her reason for being here, but she's always welcome on the couch whenever you want to come through. So
I'm coming back already.
because it's time.
Yes.
It's a time.
Back. Yep.
And it's been turned up for like the past 2 weeks. I don't know what happened.
It's a time.
But it's a time.
I mean, I feel like that's the spirit. We're getting
It's
ready
spring.
for like hot girl summer.
Right.
We're setting the foundation with the spring.
We are.
Like,
Yes.
That's
the
it.
energy we're giving.
Yep. I get my braids done in 2 weeks. Can't tell me nothing at that point.
Did you go keep in for 2 days?
Oh.
Okay. See?
See, this is why they're not going to invite me back.
I told you she's a friend of the pod. She knows me well.
Very much a friend
Yes.
of the pod. Oh, I like this.
I know.
This is spicy.
You like anybody who checks me.
Spicy. I do.
That's ridiculous.
I do. It's good because you always get me, and I'm like, "Ooh, somebody get Nasa." Yes, thank you.
We do that to each other.
Yeah,
That's true. That is true.
For sure.
It's a struggle sometimes.
I like it.
Okay, so tell us about this festival y'all are doing.
Yes.
Are you taking a sip first?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. You
So, Nasa and I, as you saw in our stories on our feed, we went to the Black Effect inaugural podcast festival.
Yep.
Also put on by iHeartRadio.
And Charlamagne the God.
Charlamagne the God. Black Effect Network is like his thing, his baby.
Yeah.
So he hosted it along with Jess Hilarious. They had
Oh yeah.
How was she?
She was funny.
Yeah, she's funny.
She's funny.
I was like-
And she's very good impromptu, off the cuff.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
is. She is. She like could not stand the cue card. They had cards. And she was like, these cards, like,
She's the client that would give me heartburn
Yes.
and make me like,
Yes.
yeah,
Very much
she
so.
went off
she
script.
has that magic.
Right, but she, yeah. So it was good. They had some of the shows that are on the network. 85 South show. They closed out the festival.
Yep. Horrible Decisions.
Horrible Decisions.
They were there.
Reasonably Shady. They were there too. Yeah. And then there were a few panel discussions.
Yeah. The business of podcasting, women in podcasting.
Yep.
Those were, obviously interesting.
Yeah.
There was a TSU, speaking of your shirt, grad who was
Grad,
there,
that's it.
who I could not see her face. And they
Yeah.
didn't have the names on the screen. And I was just like, who is this person?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm going to find that person.
I know you will.
So, yeah. But got to rep the set all day.
Yes, you do.
At Pullman Yards, kind of an indoor-outdoor area.
Yeah.
Lots of murals.
Y'all had a beautiful day.
It was a
Right.
beautiful day.
The weather was
Atlanta was
good.
given.
It was. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Okay,
Over-
so what was your takeaway?
We had lots of lessons learned.
Yeah.
The networking was number one key. We had a lot of podcasts, especially out of Florida. Mm-hmm. So that was really
There
interesting.
were
They
people who
flew up.
came in.
Yeah, they flew up for it. And
Yeah.
it was great talking to them. I think everyone that we talked to kind of is in that same kind of boat of trying to refine your audience and making sure that you are speaking to your people, not trying to eat the whole world. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You got to do that. And the other takeaway is don't be afraid to pitch yourself. You know?
Right.
That's a hard one.
It's hard, especially for a lot of us as black women.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really hard. I can sell you all day.
I know.
Hype you up. Go, girl, go.
Vice versa.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
I can do that for both of
Absolutely.
y'all.
Yeah.
Me, you know my struggle.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But we talk to hype me up. I'm like,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And so we have to not be afraid to toot our own horns. And so I thought that was very important too. And the consistency, obviously. Do good work consistently. You can have all the great ideas in the world, but you got to execute with excellence and have that consistency.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Also, don't be afraid to like have us write the things for you.
That
Have
is
your
true.
crew hype you up.
That is true.
Like Rachel writes my bios all the time. Now that I've said it on camera, she might not again, but she does.
Hey.
She does. I have to phone in a friend because, to your point, it's hard to talk about yourself. So I say, y'all better call the crew.
Exactly.
Thank you.
We have an amazing crew, though. We talk about that, which is kind of the whole purpose for you being here.
Yes.
So, okay, let me give you a little background. Brittany Irby is kind of the wonderkin behind everything in Nashville. So, not just Black Nashville, but in Nashville.
All the space.
And she has curated a career and a life that is built on relationships and positive relationships and leveraging them to the mutual benefit of both parties. Yeah.
Agreed.
And I think that you've been strategic about it. I don't know if you were always strategic. That's what I want to talk to you about. Like, did it start like you just love people and talk to people?
Yeah.
Or is it something that you were intentional about day one?
Yeah, so I fell into this. So things about me, I'm an only child. But I've got 20-ish first cousins, right? So you have no choice but to like find your space and place and like make room for the settings that you're in.
Yes.
Also, my mom was like, it's only one of you, so you got to go make some friends. So
Yeah.
I've always done that from the beginning, but I think I'm super selective about the who and the what. I think both of y'all know that about me. But have I always been strategic about my network and curate? No. You know, when you are like in your early 20s, because y'all, I thought I was going to law school.
Didn't we
I
all?
took the LSAT, did the things, and I was like, I am bored as hell. And I was like, I cannot do this indefinitely. So I was like, well, let's pass the time and go get a master's degree. Not that I recommend that for everyone, but it worked.
It delays adulthood sometimes.
You know,
Right.
I was trying to do all the things to delay.
Let me grab this degree.
Because Cheryl was still paying some of my bills. Shout out to my mama. She's the real MVP. So I was like, who wants to like jump wholeheartedly into that? But my first job was with the Junior League of Nashville. I am a 22-year-old Black college grad in Nashville going to work for an predominantly all white women's organization.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? What is this place? Who are these people?
Wow.
Like,
Yeah,
it was a
yeah.
time. But when I say I learned so much in my 4 years there, wild. Because when I say they are master networkers and it just comes naturally to them. And it was like, you should come meet this person. Oh, you do this well. We're going to go ahead and have you sit on this committee. Or Brittany, let's make sure that you show up to A, B, C, and D, right? So like in my mind, I'm like watching them weave these webs of connection.
Yeah.
And I'm like taking notes. But also my number one takeaway from like my time at the Junior League is like when you work side by side with people and you do great work together, people have no problem recommending you for the things.
True.
That's true.
Because like that's a peek into like your work ethic
That is true.
and
That's
what
true.
you can produce. So
Yeah.
I mean, I often say that Black people go to college to get education. I think that other people sometimes go to college to network.
Yeah.
It's not about the classroom. It's about who's going to be my peers and who I can
Right.
network with.
Yeah.
And we don't always leverage that. Even in some of our organizations, we don't leverage that. Like, I mean, You remember that thing that was online? A guy had the spreadsheet with how much all of his friends made, so they could talk about vacations together. Do you remember that?
Really?
He had a spreadsheet with his friends and how much each one of them made and how much they plan on spending on vacation this year. So when they plan vacations, can he go by himself or not? Can he bring his wife? So that way, when they plan vacations, they know who's in and who's out and what they can spend.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about, like, with my immediate circle, like, I kind of know what some people make, but we don't talk dollars and cents like that on a regular basis.
We don't, but I think we're getting better.
We are.
Let me say that. I mean, even like a few of our folks these past few times that have had opportunities, we call each other like, is that enough money? Like, we've got somebody in our crew that is like wholeheartedly embedded in HR. I didn't know what the hell equity was in a company until like she started educating me on how folks literally leverage their 9 to 5 to own pieces of this company, these companies, right? So to your point, we've got to do a better job of being transparent.
Yes.
And if y'all don't follow this Instagram account called Salary Transparency, so freaking good, because she asks right on the street, how much do you make? Do you think you're getting paid enough? Like, that's what you need. But to your point, we've got to start redefining what college means. If you're going to spend 4 years in an institution, you better take advantage of every single opportunity that you can.
Definitely. Yeah. I think that transparency, though, I mean, Black people told everybody can be on your business. You don't talk about your relationship, your money.
You don't talk about any of that.
Or your Lord half the time, you know?
I experienced that in a prior job, and I had wished I was stepping into a role someone was vacating. And I'd wished she were transparent enough to tell me how much she had been making. And I did ask. I mean, all you can say is no, but it was kind of like, I'm, not comfortable saying. Because I'm trying to make sure I know, what I need to ask for. And for me, I felt like it was a great disservice. It's something I will never forget. So from there, I just changed how I thought anyway. And, I don't want anyone else to have to go through that. So
Carrie Floyd is that person for me.
Yeah.
Talk about, who tells you about the numbers. When my husband died, right before he passed away, I was interviewing for another position with a global company. And I had this number. I'm like, I had done the math. I knew Chris was, passing soon. And so I'm like, okay, I got to make this number to keep my house and feed my family.
Yep.
And so Carrie's like, okay, you had the interview? I'm like, yeah. She's like, so what's your number? And I gave her the number. She's like, that ain't the number. She's like, that is not the number. I was like, well, this is the number I need. And she was like, no. That number is way too low.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And so the first time I asked for the number, I was like, I really need this number. Nervous, like, because all they can do is say no, and I'm like, and I obviously needed a job, but they were like, oh, okay, and I'm like,
means you didn't ask for enough.
Exactly.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
How we sell ourselves short like that? That means you didn't ask for enough.
Exactly. I was like,
you need people in your corner like that. Yeah. It's going to say you are worth more than that. So one of my mentors, y'all, unlikely pair, we are. She is she is a white Republican lady. But when I tell you we are like this, and I love the fact that she challenges me and vice versa. Do we always agree on all the things?
Yeah, right.
But does she speak my name in rooms that I'm not in? Yeah. Absolutely. She is like on the top 3 of my list when I'm getting ready to make a major career move. And we talk dollars because I love the fact that for me, she says, what is going to shift you generationally in terms of the next opportunity that you take, right? She was like, Brittany, I'm looking long term for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need people like that because this last go round, some months ago, she said, now there's an opportunity on the table. She was like, now you can't command X amount of dollars. I about fell out of my damn chair. I said, I can do what? But to your point, we don't see ourselves in that light, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just very interesting. You've got to have people that hold that mirror up to your face.
Also, like you said, generationally.
Yeah.
I have parents who haven't made it. Like, the money I make, my parents didn't make.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, one of my bonuses from one of my previous jobs, my mom was like, I didn't make that in a year. And I'm like, okay,
See, Rachel and I were talking about that, too. figuring out what it looks like to be that first generation to make the kind of money that we're making.
Yeah.
Right? And financially be responsible.
Come on now.
And be forward thinking. And sometimes I may have a problem with the word budget. And not always subscribe to YOLO.
Guacamole for everybody.
But it's something to be said though about literally we are doing things that our parents
of course
only dreamt of, right? So
our experience very much so later in life.
Right. They set that foundation for us. And so I've had this conversation with so many folks. It's hard to have conversations with them sometimes around how to navigate this space because they've never experienced it.
Yeah. Right.
So
that's true.
To your early part, like we just got to be more transparent with each other about sharing the resources, but also looking for folks who have this second, third, fourth generation, what y'all been doing? Because clearly y'all still going.
Right. Yeah.
You're
Seriously.
still making the dollars and doing the things. So it's interesting.
That is so very true. Searching for people outside of your initial circle because your initial circle might not know.
Yeah,
if you're the Christopher Columbus, which I hate to use that, but if you are the explorer your...
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's stricken from the record.
That's true.
Right.
If you're the explorer of your, the forge ahead person, you're supposed to lift as you climb.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're like, let me learn how to navigate this.
That's it.
Because I'm being totally transparent. I've navigated it poorly many a time, and I'm like, okay, messed that one up. Let's try this again, Let's try it again and learn those lessons and apply them. And I make sure that whatever room I enter is never foreign to my children.
That's it.
Right, yeah.
We have to have those conversations. Yeah.
Yep.
I have to make sure.
They've got to be able to navigate this too, right?
Yeah.
So the beautiful thing about like getting older and like being open, I always joke that my friendship application is closed, but apparently God always says ha ha ha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one of my friends now, like I think we are, y'all hold on, I'm doing the math. We're probably about 15 years apart, but I love her.
Yeah.
And she gives me such great advice, and she's such a boss. When I say a boss, like she is somebody who real life like does Monopoly. Like we'll be at happy hour. She's like, yeah, girl, I just bought another property. Like Black woman out here doing it. Like she and her husband have done the things. Like he's owned his own dental practice. She was high up in a Fortune 500 company. And now, like, she's just sowing those seeds, but she learned that from her parents.
Okay.
So I try to, like, soak up all of that.
Yeah.
Right? Because she is just such a force. And I was like, it's a reason she's here in my world.
Yeah. Definitely.
And vice versa. But I learned a lot from her.
Yeah.
But she is real life Monopoly out here.
Yeah. I think that, when it comes to parents, sometimes, we don't listen like we're supposed to.
Right.
I mean, we don't.
We know everything.
I mean, as a parent myself, I know that my children are like, okay, mom,
Right.
They listen a lot of times, but, there are some things just like, okay. Yeah. Sometimes life has to teach you some things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But also, we have to be super transparent about passing on that knowledge. I reached out to my father, or reached out to my father-in-law. Okay, you guys have multiple properties. How did you do it? Let's talk this through. What is the process? Because of course, I own my house.
Yeah.
But how can I leverage that into owning other things? And those are just skills that they're not talked about every day.
No,
at all.
Yeah.
And we exist.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. Like we exist. That community of Black folk out there, like wholeheartedly. We just have to be more interconnected and intentional.
Yeah.
About like learning, figuring out the resources, and really tapping people on the shoulder and saying, share what you know.
Because the knowledge is there. It's out there.
For sure.
It's out there. We have to make time to do it and not be invested in other, sometimes crap. So.
And having people, like you said, to help you navigate that. The whole, for me, gatekeeping comes to mind. And,
the only one syndrome?
Yeah.
I can be the only one in the room. I'm the magical Negro.
Right.
No. Y'all know I can't stand that shit.
No.
I don't, like help you. And for me, as I've gotten older, it doesn't hurt me to bring you along.
Well, also,
I never understood that.
I'm like, so I feel like you block your blessings and what God may have for you when you don't subscribe to helping other people kind of like climb as you climb.
Yeah.
I'm just like, now if you are just a bad person, then, well, we need to leave you in a box. But generally, folks have good intent.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you
Yeah.
should be willing to, like, help them. I don't understand that. Like, how does that help the greater good? That you out here,
Exactly.
like, subscribing to being the only one in
Yeah.
the room at
Yeah.
the table making the decisions. What good are you doing?
Yeah.
You're not doing anything.
Also, once again, black folk aren't a monolith.
No.
So,
Exactly.
like, you were bringing one perspective, one experience to the table,
Yeah.
and missing so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can have Candace Owens at your table, but is that really speaking for the team? No. Obviously, it's not. You know what I mean? So,
See the slow blink?
I know the slow blink. But no, that's true. You said we're not a monolith. There's different
You're right.
points of
Yeah,
view.
you're
And
right.
so,
That's true.
you know, you got to make sure you have the breadth of diversity
Yeah.
throughout. So, that's very true.
To, like, challenge and push you.
How do you build your personal board of directors?
So, I have a professional, personal board of directors. I have a personal board of directors. The undercurrent of that is that I need people who are going to call me on my shit and challenge me. That's in both settings, right? Because I think, you know, you get comfortable. And sometimes it's okay to keep doing the same old, same old.
Yeah.
And you need folks to be like, yeah, but you're capable of way more. You can do way more. You possess skills A through whatever.
Yeah.
Why are you not leveraging them? In terms of like actually building those, like that personal board of directors, to be honest, like I'm just involved in stuff.
Okay.
I think it starts as simple. My mother was so big when I was growing up on like volunteering in general. Like she did not play those games like at all. So on the weekends, she was like, "So what volunteer project you working on this weekend? What you doing?" Like she was like, "We going to the library? Cool. They've got little clubs. Sign up for A, B, C, and D." I was always in something. A Girl Scout, ballet, tapping, doing something, right? So I think one of my friends told me this. Oh, shout out to Crystal Clark. She was like, "You're a joiner." I was like, I am a joiner.
Yeah.
But I'm also very intentional and selective about what I join and the people that I bring into my crew. So I will say, in these 38 years, I've been working on my discernment. I'm real.
Come on,
big
somebody.
energy and
Yeah.
vibes.
Yes.
I'm so serious.
Yeah.
You got to be able to read somebody's like what they bring into a room and how they just feel to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if something is off internally,
Yeah.
bid them farewell
Yeah.
and goodness from afar, right?
Right.
Because you don't want anybody like that in your space helping you make decisions about how you should move and where
True.
you should go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you are not sure about their intent. So intent is really big for me.
Yeah.
My personal board of directors, I wholeheartedly could call anybody on that list and know that they would ride for me, pull up for me,
Yes.
do anything. I mean, just this past week, I was like, I need 2 letters of recommendations. And it was a very, very short timeline. I shot 2 text messages off. I was like, "Are you cool with doing A, B, C, and D? I'll write it all." They were like, "Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead
Yeah.
do it. We'll put it on letterhead." You know? So
Yeah.
always leverage your discernment when putting together your personal board of
Yes.
directors. Also, please know that you don't have to go far. You probably have somebody standing to your left or to your right that wholeheartedly know whether or not you want to hear what they have to say. It's the question.
That is true.
Yes.
You should listen to me more.
As we looking at each other.
You should listen to me more.
Okay. I'm looking at our guests.
Okay,
Continue.
thank you. But y'all challenge each other,
Yes.
right? You see what I'm saying?
We
But
do.
You need those people in your world who will be that slight agitator.
Yes.
To be like, no, I need you to do A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
Have you done this? Have you done that?
She does that to my wardrobe.
Boom.
Oh God, here
Thank
you
you.
go.
She
Thank you.
does.
Thank you. Somebody needs to do it.
Well, that's because Nasa, I love you.
And that's the end of the statement. All right. As we move on.
That's all we have time for today.
Yeah, as we move on. I'll be cute with my little penny up earrings.
Dude, but then sometimes you be coming in 32-piece suits, and we don't need those. I love you.
You know,
I love a blazer and a cardigan.
She like a pantsuit.
I do love. Ooh, I love a pantsuit.
You love a pantsuit.
I thought about wearing one tonight. I said, "I'm going to the concert tonight." I thought, "Oh, I can wear my
Please
pantsuit."
don't give Jill that.
Thank you.
I don't think Jill asked
Jill
for
doesn't
that.
want that.
Jill is about to take her shoes off on that area rug
What you say? Oh,
on
damn,
stage with her crown. Mason.
Oh
This is what I'm saying. But
Yes.
either way, your folks could be standing to your left or to your right. Okay? Also,
Thank you.
don't think it has to be somebody like in the Nashville Business Journal or whatever. It does not.
Right.
It
Yeah.
wholeheartedly could be like somebody, when I talk about, I'm clearly huge on volunteering and giving back to the community. But it could be an organization that you volunteer with often.
Yeah.
It could be that program director. Like, but also set your sights high. Like if somebody is doing something that you want to do,
Ooh, talk about it.
Right.
figure out how to get to them.
Yeah.
But also be real about people's time.
Yeah.
Come on.
I only
now.
call on my folks when I need them.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
very intentional about their time because I hate when people waste my time.
Right. Right.
So if you are wholeheartedly, whether it is internally or outwardly, expressing to these folks that they sit on your personal board of directors, be intentional. Intentional is my word for the year too. Be intentional about their time. Okay? Because
That's
folks
good.
don't have to.
Yeah.
And they do it because they are
Right.
bought into you
Right.
as a person. That's the big thing. Just make sure everybody is bought into you as a person and they want to see you win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, little Ether Ray.
So that's right. We talk about you and your personal board directors.
Yes.
But I'm sure, of course, you have mentees.
Yeah, I do.
What is your number one piece of advice for your mentees?
My number one piece of advice for my mentees is to always trust their intuition. Period.
Okay.
Your intuition will never lead you astray. No matter the external factors, whether it be your parents, whether it be religious, like rituals or some type of traditional situation that you feel like
Yeah.
you've got to live up to, or whether it be professionally and you feel like you're supposed to be doing something, your intuition will always guide you in the right direction. I tell one of my mentees all the time, my mom and I had some like knock down, drag out fights when I was growing up, and not necessarily about because I am the good kid. I told her she got lucky. I mean, one and done, but like also. But
I'm gonna ask your mama that question.
you
I
should.
see her.
She will take.
Be like,
She gonna say something completely different.
right.
But I say that to say, even when I went to come to TSU, I got into quite a few universities, and at the night hour, I was like, I want to go to Tennessee State, and my mom said, "What?" She was like, "You want to go 8 hours away from home?" I was like, "That is what I want to do." We were having some real contentious conversations to the point where I remember specifically we had to call my cousin, and he had to like mediate and be like, "Shirley, you gonna have to let her do what she want to do." Here we are.
Yeah.
Career wise, my mom thought that I should go into pharmaceutical sales. Oh my God, I would rather soon die. That is not what I want to do.
Right.
Right? And she knew because parents want the best for you.
Of course.
But she just knew that I should do A versus B. And I was like, sis, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I have always trusted my intuition and leaned on God in all big decisions, period. Because at the end of the day, I have to live with those decisions.
True.
You do.
And you take accountability for your own choices,
Yeah.
no matter what. So, yes, I seek counsel from folks. I ask for guidance about big life decisions. But at the end of the day, that choice rests with me.
Yeah.
And I got to be able to go to sleep at night.
Okay.
So, that's the big one.
That is a big one.
Yeah.
And that's great that you figured that out early on in life. I think that most people don't even come to that kind of
True.
I don't want to say chasm, but that break between parental and paradigm until much later sometimes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it bothered. My mama was like, where did you come from? I'm sure a lot of the times. But, yeah, I don't know. I was like, that's also how she raised me.
Yeah.
Of course.
To be independent.
Of course.
To be a critical thinker and think for myself versus looking for outwardly validation. And here we are. That's why she's like this heifer.
Right.
I will say I'm glad you didn't ignore it, because a lot of times, especially as Black women,
Oh my gosh.
we get the feelings, it's there, and we're like, no.
You got to drown it out because all the expectations on your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let me go ahead. you've invested so much into me. Let me make you proud.
Right.
Let me do X, Y,
Yeah.
and Z. Let me do, you know. And then you end up 30 years later, you don't even recognize your own voice.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you're living a life that's not even what you want. It might be a good life.
Right.
It's just not the good life
Yeah,
for
you
you.
want it. Yeah.
You know?
It's not the chapters that you wanted to write
Yep.
for your particular book.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. That whole no regrets. I know that's easier said than done, but I literally try to live. Once again, I own my shit. Like, my decisions
Yeah.
are my
Yeah.
decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try that with my daughters, even though there are times when I hate it. Let me clarify. And I really hate it.
Yeah.
But, you know, they have to be able to live their own lives, you know? And I had one tell me, you know, I'm just trying to make you proud. And I'm like, have I ever asked you to do that?
Right.
Like, you do you.
Yep.
I'm proud because you are breathing.
Yeah.
it.
The rest
Yeah.
of it's icing on the cake, you know? And now she, of course, has a great career. She loves it and things are great. The other one still figured it out. And I'm like, your only job is to feed yourself and shelter yourself. You know? Outside of that, anything else you decide to do, that's on you.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
do you.
Yeah, it's, once again, I think you were pulling this thread. The expectations of black women.
Yeah.
Let me take a nap.
You know,
This is
right.
what I'm saying.
It's exhausting.
It's
It's exhausting.
so much.
It's exhausting.
And I mean, professionally, everybody want us to save them. Put on your cape.
You're
Yeah.
the janitor
And
to the world.
We don't even have time to put the cape in the dry cleaner.
No.
Folks just,
Cape got stains
Cape
and
is
handprints on
dirty.
it.
Just-
Lit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, personally, we are expected to be all the things to any and everybody. And then you look and
Fix
say,
the plate, feed the kid, have a snatch race. Your booty better be big, your titties better be high.
That's
You gotta
it.
have long hair.
that will never happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Small chest over
Right,
here.
I
I feel
know.
good about it.
That's okay. You own your shit. So, yeah. But, you know, it's all these things. Sing in the choir, be on the usher board, be a sorority meeting, go to the community thing, be on the PTA, you know, take care of your nieces and
That's it.
nephews,
Yeah.
We're not even about to talk about
twerk good,
Be all the
the
things.
role that religion plays.
bounce,
And-
all kinds of stuff.
Twerk.
Have
good.
meg knees.
Twerk.
Twerk me.
Meg needs to woo,
Right. It's a whole lot.
God, need a sponsorship for knee pads at this point.
Girl, something.
It's a time.
It's a cortisone shot. But it is a lot. They expect so much
Yes, of us.
out of us.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, right
Yeah.
down to, not Joe Biden, Lord. He's him. But he also said black women saved his campaign. We know we did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stacey said the Republic.
what we
Stacey
do.
came in and was like,
Yeah.
boom, babe, I got y'all.
That's it.
Big joker.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
So we are expected to be any and everything, and then who rescues us?
Exactly.
Who do we look to? Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm looking at this couch. We are the ones because, like,
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
else,
Yeah.
unfortunately, really understands.
No.
Yep.
They don't.
No.
So, hence why I say your personal board of directors, you better make sure, especially personally, is so important because you got to be able to like pop off in your group me when you having a real interesting day.
Yeah.
And your people be like, I mean, so what we about to do? You
Yeah.
want us to help you craft this email that?
Right. Are we looking for a new job? What we doing?
Right. What are we doing?
I mean, do we professionally have to pull up on somebody?
Right.
What do we have to do?
Right. Right.
Or you just go, I just needed to vent and I feel
Right.
good about it. That's it.
Absolutely.
But you need folks like that. Mm-hmm. You do.
On the Black Lady Sketch Show, most recent, there's a whole skit about talking shit at
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
It's like you're in the bathroom with your other black girls, and you're like, "Let me tell you what this heifer did," you know, just to vent it out.
That's
And
it.
the theme was the motto: "We talk shit so we don't quit."
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
That needs to go.
Yes.
somewhere.
I was like, yes.
I'm like,
'Cause
yeah.
how many times you pulled up and like, let me just offload this so I can go back in here and smile.
That's it. That's it. So I can.
Right?
Nasa knows one day, which rarely happens to me, but like life was life that day. I stepped into her office. I cried about 24 tears. I buttoned that shit up. And I said, all right, now I can go on about my day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you just need that.
Yeah.
Because nobody else will ever understand because once again, we are not afforded or given the privilege
Right.
Yeah.
to show up that
Yeah.
way.
Absolutely.
Oh,
In
yeah.
professional.
Definitely. I mean, heck, when I came to work sick,
Yeah.
and you were like, I was like, sis, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. She's like, but you're not.
Right.
You're
So go
not.
home.
You're not.
Yeah.
And I fought it.
Yeah.
You know, no, I got to stay here. I got to perform. I got to perform. I got to perform. And you were like, why? Like, why?
shit was gonna be there. It was there.
It was.
And it was okay. You wanna know why? Because other people were able to do the things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There was a team.
Then you need people like that to say that.
Yeah.
But safe spaces, honesty, transparency, pushback. You go home. Thank you for letting me cry. Like, seriously. And then those spaces are needed amongst us as community. As
and who can let you do it without holding it against you.
Right.
Girl, because we ain't got time.
We'll keep no record of the wrongs. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, you can come in here with some BS and I'd be like, girl, some BS.
Yeah.
But I ain't going to just hold you on it like next
Exactly.
week. Like,
Yeah. Remember that time you
Because
cried?
that is one thing that we don't get a lot of is vulnerability. I'm struggling with that at the point.
I mean, people try to use it against you too.
They
Right.
do.
Yeah.
They
So,
do. I'm struggling with that
yeah.
across the board.
Oh, as do I.
So,
As do I.
so it's a time.
Yeah.
But when you find folks that like embrace that and then say, all right then, dust yourself off.
Yeah.
Going back out there.
I think it's because there are so few safe spaces for us, to be honest. We create their own safe spaces.
Yeah.
I say every time I walk out my front door, I have to navigate whiteness and maleness to remain safe. So there are a few places that TSU is one for me. It's a safe space for me. You know what I mean? I don't have to explain myself here. I can just be. I can in my home. I can just be. And so because there aren't enough safe spaces, you don't know how you can be vulnerable when
Right.
you aren't feeling safe.
Right.
You can't. Those have to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Well, and that's just never been the case for us,
Right.
Black folk in general. So when people say you need to be vulnerable and tap into it, what does that look like?
Yeah.
Right, what does that mean exactly? Like, help me.
I don't know you like that. That's the big. I don't know you like that. But
Right.
I'm not. No, you don't get to know me like that. I don't know you. You're not about to know me.
Seriously, my first meeting with my therapist, I told you this before.
Yes.
But we were talking, and she was like, you used to be transparent, whatever. I said, I understand that, but how do I know you're not going to get dementia?
That's it.
And then you'd be in the home, and I might blow up and be somebody like for real.
Yeah.
You can tell my business, and the nurse gonna listen to you and write this tell-all book about my therapist who just has dementia talking about my business.
Yeah.
And she was like, "You really worry about that?" And I'm like, "I do."
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, dementia doesn't run in my family." And I'm like, "But you might be the first. You don't know.
Right. You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know."
That's why you got to keep a crew that like we
Right.
can't stop being friends.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know all this shit.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
girl.
Absolutely.
Come on, Carrie Floyd.
Listen.
Right. Yeah, Rice know that she did. We just
Right.
do all the things. But
Right. We can't fall out.
No.
we got the work through
Yeah.
it.
Right.
It's like,
Absolutely.
no.
Yeah.
That ain't a thing.
Yeah. Totally get it. Totally get it. Okay. So we always have it to go
Yes.
before we depart for the
Yeah,
day.
we do.
So if someone is 21, it's graduation season at TSU right now, everybody's graduating, and you're like, hey, you want these 3 things that you going for, you're looking for a network. What would those 3 things be? You give us a lot of gems, but just,
Looking for your network. 3
Yeah.
things. I'm going to start with say yes to you first. And I hate when people say, get clear about who you are. We are ever evolving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So this
Yeah.
point in your life at this time of 20 whatever,
Right.
like put together a network that serves you at this point. And it might evolve. Now don't be scared to kick people out of your board of directors,
Absolutely.
too.
Amen.
That's number 2. Okay.
Doors go both ways.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, know that sometimes it's okay to, like, you're like, oh my God, you served your purpose. Thank you so much. Send them a lovely note. Keep up with them every once in a while, but go ahead and usher them
Yeah.
On to
the
next
side
thing.
there. But then, like, the last one, like, seize the opportunities. Like, even if they're uncomfortable, even if it's something completely out of your norm, like, that means that you're headed in the right direction. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because that will also help you expand your network and expose you to folks that you didn't think that you were possibly going to cross paths with, right?
Got it?
So, yeah, say yes to you at that moment, right?
Yeah.
Give yourself some grace to evolve. Number 2, don't be scared as you slate your board of directors that in a year or 2, a few folks might have to slide off. But then 2, get comfortable with being uncomfortable so you can expose yourself to different situations to meet some folks that you normally would not
Ooh,
have met.
that last one. You in my pew. I know she's gonna look at me. Irby knows too. Y'all know, I do not. I have a hard time socially with people. Social anxiety is real. I'm
It
not
is.
claiming that I have that, but I've watched you work all the rooms. So I'm just like, I am just inspired. Like, I really am.
Girl.
Not saying I am me, you are you, but that last one, because I was like, oh, I don't want to go to this.
But I tell you, that happens to me all the time. I still get hella uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, and I force myself to like keep going because I'm like, all right, sis, this feels like you are outside of your body watching you.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Like, keep pushing through. Like, I have to.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way that I'll grow.
Absolutely.
I'm the same way. For me, it's going on stage, and I also am very much aware though when I don't have it. I'll just claim I don't have it.
Yeah.
Like because if I fake it, it's gonna come off weird.
Yeah.
So there are days when I walk into the room and I'm like, I ain't even got it today. You know.
Yeah.
I just don't, and I know that about me. My social reservoir, like Charlene said, ain't no more people in for me today. I can't people no more, and it's okay. But then there are other days I'm like, okay, we're on stage. Let's go. Act one.
Yeah.
You know.
Y'all, I didn't leave the house yesterday. That's also like I have to completely detach too. Like I have to. Like I
get a minute.
You need to work.
I did a minute.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
So there is wholeheartedly like times where I literally have to say I'm not leaving my house today.
Yeah.
And people will call me like, "What you doing?" Nothing. Don't ask me to do
Absolutely.
nothing. I don't talk about it. Like people are like, "Well, I'm about to call you. Please don't just text." Like because it's one of those.
Yep.
So I have to like power back up to do all of that again.
That is so true.
Yeah.
That is so true. And that's something I looked at our calendar about an hour ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this calendar's tricky. I need to put a break in here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You gotta schedule some time.
Yeah.
Like power down.
Yep.
And I hate when people say, well, I feel like I need to be productive. Being productive is like rest is productive.
Thank you.
Rest
It really is.
productive. The fact that I sat there and watched Indian Matchmaker for hours.
Is there a new season out?
Yes, girl. Dropped on Friday. See, my auntie is giving it. Go ahead and watch it. But also, Tupac has a documentary out. Oh my God.
Is it good?
So good. I watched the first episode.
Okay.
Leave here and over there. But that was productive.
Right. It is.
You see what I'm saying?
You rested. You spent time with you doing what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So know that as we talk about networking, expanding personal board of directors, all of that other jazz, that expands a level of energy that is really high. So you have to make sure that you're taking time for you just to build your reservoir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you don't,
You hear that, Nasa?
oh,
Hi.
I'm gonna take my little last sip. This is just
Okay.
Whoa.
So while you take that little last sip, Faith, where can people find us?
Put me on the spot. You can find us on YouTube,
In the A. No, I'm sorry.
Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you listen to podcasts. We're also on Instagram and Facebook. Please like, comment, subscribe, share.
Yep.
share. I'm
Share.
about sharing.
Yes.
Of course.
That's what happens when you have a good network.
That is so very true. That is so very true. So number one, thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here. Thank you for coming in and being on the set.
I'm coming back.
I know,
What are
right?
we talking
Because you
about?
hadn't been here since I've done this, have you?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Ta-da.
coming back. I can't wait to see what we conjure up next.
You know, all my guests have an open door policy to this room and the rest of my rooms in my house. I actually have all my guests have been pretty
the
good.
podcast.
Yeah.
Guest. Oh, okay. We were
Yeah.
specific.
Oh, yeah. All the podcast guests. You know,
All of them?
you know, I don't tolerate fools too much. You know that all. I get real. So,
Yes.
yes, but you are more than welcome to come back and sit on the
Joy.
couch and, you know, or any other couch in this house and just post up.
That's the beauty about this relationship.
Whatever. All right, good people. So you heard from Faith where you can find us. You heard from Brittany about what you need to do to build your board of directors. I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, we'll see you soon on Instagram, of course, and of course, a new episode on Tuesday. So talk to you soon. Bye.